It's Friday. It's the day before Tottenham Hotspur, Leicester City at the King Power Stadium. Welcome to the preview show. Good afternoon and welcome to Paxton Road TV, your weekly preview show of Leicester City versus Tottenham Hotspur. And joining me is the one and only Sam, Spurs for Life. Good afternoon, Sam. How are you?
I'm all right. It's Friday. Finished what we needed to do for work and all the rest of it. And it's time to preview the game. So, yeah, I'm doing all right. Thank you.
Good man. Good man. Good man. What's been happening since our last game? Do you know what? It's been that long. I can't even remember our last game. What was our last game? Was it City?
Game. Yeah, of course it was. It was Harry Kane. Harry Kane.
Absolutely. Have you recovered?
I was there. It was great, man. Oh, yeah. Now you've reminded me. When he scored that goal, the stadium went mad. And then they showed everything on the full screens. Harry Kane 267. They did that thing where they showed him in his different kits doing his celebration. Oh, wicked. It was one of the best, like I said, one of the best atmospheres, certainly this season and for a long time at Spurs. And I think we deserved it. We did deserve it.
Yeah, we've discussed this, didn't we, that week and then the week before when we played them at the Etihad, and we did say we're their bogey team, and for whatever reason, we just get one over them all the time, every time. And what I was surprised about was the fact that they've not scored against us at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium now in 5 or 6 games, which for a Manchester City team who score for fun, it's a bit of a mad thing, isn't it?
We did a very good defensive job on them. The XGs, and again, I've talked about stats as you can kind of take them or leave them sort of thing. But the XG for us was, I think, 1.97, and for City it was less than 1. I think that was their lowest XG that they've had against any team that I can think of. 0.97. Think about that. They only had less than 1 chance to score a goal. A good chance to score a goal. Obviously, they had shots on goal, but they weren't good chances. So the defensive job that they did in Haaland was fantastic. We have to call out Emerson Royal. I know Mike don't want to call him out, but I'm calling him out. Some people on our group don't want to call out Emerson, but I'm going to call you out, Emerson. Best match I've seen you play live. He was doing everything. And this is the reason why we said these players, we have to keep some players. Now, he's not the best wing back in the world. Is he much better than Matt Doherty? Probably not. Is he defensively better than Matt Doherty? I think he is. But he's 23. He's come from Barcelona. There is potential for Ceylon. And actually, he's doing all right.
I agree with you. I think it was one of his best games. Full stop, period. And yeah, overall, great performance. But we're not here to talk about Manchester City. What we're here to talk about is tomorrow's game, which I can't get around my head. It's a 3:00 kickoff on a Saturday. When was the last time Tottenham played on a Saturday at 3:00?
It's been a while. I think
Yeah.
I've been to a game this season on Saturday, but I
think it
can't
was
remember
Brentford.
which one. Might be a while back, yeah. But certainly, it's going to be different. And Antonio's back. Whether he'll be on the bench or not, I'm not sure. I don't know what Stellini said in the conference. I haven't watched all of it. I've heard him say he doesn't actually know. They hadn't even discussed that. So that I don't believe that. They would have discussed that. That would have been one of the first things they would have discussed. Are you going to be on the bench, boss? Yes or no?
100%. I totally agree with you on that one. We'll talk about that towards the end. But let's do this. So, like I mentioned, Leicester City, Tottenham Hotspur at the King Power Stadium, 3 p.m. kickoff. So, let's have a look at the league table as it stands. Them on top, Manchester City, 45 points, 21 games. Man United, 22 games, 43 points. Newcastle United, 21 games, 40 points. And then Tottenham Hotspur, 22 games, 39 points. Last weekend was great for us. Newcastle drawing, Man United drawing, and they drew again on Wednesday. So top 4 is well and truly open. Let's just say that it's well and truly open.
It is, but it's going to be a high point score, I think, for top 4 this season.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you might get into the mid 60s, even the mid to late 60s and 70s usually, but I reckon it's going to be 75 points plus this year for top 4, just looking at where them teams are above us. But we all know seasons can change very, very quickly.
100%. So table never lies, like we say. Leicester City, unfortunately, are not in the top 10. They're further down, but we can discuss everything else on that one. Right, form guide. Leicester won the last game 4-2 against Villa, and I was quite shocked at that because away at Aston Villa is not easy, and for them to score 4 goals, which was quite, interesting, and Maddison's back for them as well. We beat Manchester City 1-0. Prior to that, they drew 2-2 with Brighton. We beat Fulham 1-0. They lost to Forest 2-0. We lost to City 4-2. They lost to Fulham. We lost to Arsenal. They lost to Liverpool. We beat Crystal Palace. Now, looking at that, last 5 games, they've won 1, drawn 1, lost 3. We've won 3, lost 2. I know. I'm going to ask you anyway. Is there anything we need to look into that at all?
Yeah, I think so. We weren't playing the best of football. Let's go from the Crystal Palace. That was a decent performance. We scored 4 goals in that. The Arsenal game and the City game, we both know, terrible. We got a result out of Fulham. We dug deep, but the result against Manchester City was a really good one, the last one out. If you look at the 2 teams we lost against are the 2 teams that are above us in the league, 1 and 2. Every other team there, and then we avenged City defeat. Look at what Leicester have played. Nobody there, apart from Brighton, in the top half of the table.
Fulham.
To me, Fulham. See, you always have to catch me out, man. Jesus, scaring off, fam. You always have to catch me out. Yeah, sorry. Brighton and Fulham.
Yeah.
Liverpool just about in the top 10, but we all know what Liverpool are like at the moment. So whether you could consider that to be a good result, yeah, it is away from home, but Liverpool are not the Liverpool that they were last season.
No. And I was going to just not pick you out on it, but I was going to mention, don't forget that Manchester City, when we lost 2-4, we was 2-0 up at half time.
Yeah.
And up until then, it was all right. But then we don't know what happened in the second half, first 15 minutes. So,
I know what happened. Lloris happened. Lloris happened in both games.
But yeah, so that's how it is as we stand. Right, let's move on to this season thus far. Leicester City, the Foxes, are 14th. We, Tottenham Hotspur, the Lily Whites, are 5th. They've won 6. We've won double the amount, 12 games. They've drawn 3. We've drawn 3. They've lost 12 games. We've lost 7. This is a bit that you'll like it. Not a lot, but you will. Average goals scored per match, 1.52 to them, 1.86 to us. Goals conceded 1.76, 1.41 to us. Clean sheet 67. Chances created. Now, this is the interesting one. 1.57 Leicester City, 1.59 Tottenham. Yeah. And they've had their master creator not playing a lot of games, although he come back last week. Looking at them stats, Sam, what are you saying?
You can see from the average goals scored and the goals conceded per match, we're on a bit of a par. Clean sheets, we're on a bit of a par. Chances created, same sort of thing. But they don't seem to be able to get over the line. They're not even got a lot of draws. So that just says to me that if we can score the first goal again, Leicester are not likely to win the game. We're always likely to be in a game against Leicester. Saying that we beat them 6-2 at home earlier in the season, it just shows you that they're not a team that they want to play us. Now, the problem is, are they going to play like the home team or are they going to play like the away team? We all know that if they play like the home team, that plays into our hands in terms of our style of play. It's really going to be a bit of a tactical masterclass here because as much as we want to give Brendan Rodgers grief, he does have some tactics about him. Whether he can get it across to his players after a certain amount of time, we'll see.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that one. I mean, their winning ratio, yeah, they've won 6 and they've lost 12 and they've drawn 3, same as us. But in terms of chances created per match, they're not far behind us, 0.02 of a difference, in that sense. So, and they did go behind against Aston Villa very early last week and they pulled that around. And then even though Villa came back twice, they managed to hold on and then convincingly victory. So I still think going to King Power Stadium is not going to be an easy game. But
No,
like you just said, it's how Leicester make it, whether they want to make it into a home game or whether they're going to allow the away team to come at them and take away the ascendancy from them. So, like exactly what you said, it just depends on who turns up. Right. Previous meetings, obviously, at the Hotspur Stadium, we beat them 6-2.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever forget the next one down the track at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 3-1. Hold on.
No. You've got.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then the next one at the King Power Stadium on the 19th of January 2022. Bergwijn!
That's the Bergwijn moment, man. The 2 goals in added time. Big game.
And then we beat them again 4-2 and they beat us at home. So looking at that, we have won 4 times. They have won once. And at the King Power Stadium, they've not beaten us in the last 2 meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we done this against Manchester City and I got you all excited. Yeah. Because we was win. Looking at that,
mm-hmm.
Who do you make favourites?
100% us. And the reason I say that is because Manchester City is a different kettle of fish. At any given moment, Manchester City can turn on. Now, we've appeared to be their bogey team, which is good for us going forward. They haven't scored against us in 5 league games at our place. Leicester are not the Leicester of 2016. They're not even the Leicester of last season. They are on a bit of a decline. Players who wanted to leave, not being able to go. Players have gone. They're in the bottom half. They're fighting relegation. I think they've got to go for this, but I think they're going to play it cage. I think they're going to see how it is first half, and then they're going to probably, if they can get to 0-0, then they're going to try and go for it. So I think the second half of this game is going to be a bit of an end-to-end. I think the first half, depending on if we can score, it will change everything. If they can keep it tight, or if they score, then I think it's going to be a counter-attack game from them. So again, as we always talked about, first goal, 100% most important thing. If we get that first goal, I think we go on and win this easily. If we don't, it's going to be a tougher challenge, but I still think we'll win the game.
Fine. Right. You like this part, don't you? Right.
I love this.
Head to head. Here we go. 33 games played. Leicester have won 12. Spurs have won 16. They've won 7 at home. We've won 7 away. We've won 9 at home. They've won 5 away. So now this game is at away. So they've won 7 at home and we've won 7 away. So
Yeah,
fine margins. Literally, it's in the balance, isn't it? It's in the balance.
If you look at the head-to-heads, but what we do have to look at with head-to-heads, obviously, it goes back quite a long time. Obviously, the recent games that we've played, and you showed that the 5 games that we played against them recently, apart from that one defeat that we had at home, you know, we are pretty much a team that can go there and score. No clean sheets apart from that game again, back in December. So our form, the players going into the confidence they would have got. Harry Kane is now on cloud 9. Do you know what I mean? He's going to be like that. He's going to be scoring for fun. Son's coming back into form a little bit. You know, players now are beginning to see. Now we've got a couple of injuries, and we'll probably talk about that. But I don't think it matters. I don't think they're significant for us. That's going to cause us a problem against them tomorrow.
No, do you know what? I agree with you. Looking at that, right? Again, but they are on a bit of a wobble, right? And when they came to our stadium, we absolutely battered them, and they were awful. They've sort of improved. And like you said, Brendan Rodgers is a very crafty manager. Very crafty manager.
Very crafty.
Yeah, very
good word
crafty.
that.
Exactly. So, you know, they'll be looking at that result as well, and he'll probably say to them, look, we went to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and they taught us a lesson. We were awful. We need to make amends on that. And there's no better way to make amends than at a home in front of our own fans. Now, we've got David Clark, our resident Leicester lad, in the house. Good afternoon. He's basically saying, hi from Leicester. Having married a Leicester girl in 1977 and living in a family of crazy Leicester supporters, I can't win. So at 3 o'clock on Saturday, I'll be taking my dog for a long walk.
David.
I know.
That's that unfortunate, you know, that's unfortunate for you.
Exactly. And I agree with him on this one. Leicester injured players are back, and their new signing, Tete, is a winger on fire. Did you see him against Aston Villa? He was on fire. He was good. He's a good signing. And Maddison's back as well. So they've got a few players coming back. Now,
I don't care.
I was just about to say, we don't care about them. Let's talk about our team. So, Hugo's not going to be in goal. Fraser Forster is going to be in goal. Now, a lot of fans, a lot of people will be going, yes. However, are we going to... Oh, no. I'm going to ask you this. Are we going to miss Hugo Lloris for his experience in the Prem? I know he's conceded stupid goals, blah, blah, blah. All right, he kept a clean sheet against Man City. But we're going to have I can't even say he's inexperienced. We're going to have a Premier League goalkeeper coming in who's going to be rusty. Is it going to be a problem for us tomorrow having Forster in goal?
Nope. My opinion is a great thing because we know that Lloris is out for 6 to 8 weeks minimum. Yeah. It now tells Forster, because what's his name? Stevie kept calling him Foster. So his name's not Foster. I used to do that. It's Forster. Yeah. He knows he's going to be in goal as the number 1 for this period of time. So his mindset's already different. He's not just coming in for a cup game or coming in just as an odd game because Lloris is getting rested. He knows he's going to play. That's going to give him confidence in the long run anyway.
Yeah,
I think he's better with his feet. He's a better distribution of the ball. He's a bigger frame keeper. He makes shots. He shot stops anyway. Lloris is only thing that Lloris gets the massive credit for is his shot stopping. Like I keep saying to people, that's what goalkeeper's supposed to do. So if Jordan Pickford makes a save, everybody's like, wow, because he's little and he's like does all this. Do you know what I mean? He makes it look like but that's what you're supposed to do. Come on, you're supposed to save goals. Now, what I want to see is commanding. What you do with the ball at your feet, what you do in a pressing situation, what you do when you come out for crosses. Lloris flaps. I think Forster's much more commanding in goal. He's better with his feet. He knows he's going to be in goal. And I think we're confident that we've got the defenders behind him. The only problem is Romero's going to miss tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of an issue. A little bit, but hopefully not too much.
I was just about to come on to that. I was going to say to you, what was I going to come on to say to you? Okay, yeah. So, in terms of quick one on Foster, I think not only that...
Forster,
yeah. Did I say Foster? Sorry.
Yeah, you did.
Because you know why I'm saying Foster? Because we're linked with Foster, aren't we? On an emergency
Oh,
loan.
yeah. We do need a backup keeper.
Yeah. So we're looking at that. But I agree with what you're saying. Fraser Forster is going to be playing in the league, Champions League, and quarterfinals of the FA Cup or 6th round. So he's not going to be playing like just the odd game like you mentioned. He's going to be playing 2 potentially Champions League games against AC Milan. Then he's got the FA Cup as well. On top of that, the league. Now, our run of games, I think next 9 games, from what I've heard, we've got West Ham, Chelsea, and then we haven't got any I think we've got all the teams we've got all the teams in the lower half of the table, including Chelsea and West Ham. It is what it is, but that's where they are. So I think it's ideal time for him to come in because, it's not going to be like getting peppered. But then again, it is what it is with goalkeepers. If you get peppered, you get peppered, but it's what you do and how you do it. So that's Lloris out. Romero's going to be out tomorrow because...
Can I just add one other thing, Sid? It's an important point, and we maybe haven't picked up on it enough. Lloris is our captain. There's going to be another captain. Forster's not going to be captain of the team. I reckon it's either going to be Harry Kane or Eric Dyer. One of them two, in my opinion. Is it Kane?
Yeah, they say he's
go. So I think that's going to have a different dynamics in terms of the game. Again, for me, Kane, England captain, you know that he's a leader by example as opposed to a shout, a screamer. Now, maybe he does some of that in the dressing room. We don't know. But on the pitch, certainly, he's a leader by example.
Yeah.
Lloris, for me, has never been a leader by example because I don't think he's good enough. In the last year or so, I think he's not fallen off a cliff, but he's certainly declined.
Yeah.
For that matter, when you see some of the goals that we've seen this season and we've seen the body language of some of these players when he's like, oh, bloody hell, he's going to let one in. It goes through the team. It goes through the team. As a captain, he can't do anything because he's not a leader by example. Harry Kane is. That's going to have a big effect on us, I think.
There you go. David Clark. Lloris was Captain Pugwash. Captain Pugwash. Right. So, Lloris is out. Romero's out because of the stupidness that he done against Manchester City. Who do you think will come in for him quickly? And then
Sanchez.
Sanchez comes in for him. I agree with you on that one as well. I think Sanchez will come in. Next one, Basuma's out, which is a weird one. Absolute weird one, because if you see what happened, somebody posted, I don't know if it was Lucas Moura or somebody else, or Emerson Royal posted something on Twitter from the dressing room, and in the background you could see somebody's foot with a brace on it, and it turned out to be Basuma. Straight away, within 5 minutes, Tottenham Hotspur then decided to put a tweet out to say Basuma's injured. So we're like, okay, so you've already known, you've not put it out, but as soon as it's gone viral, the clip, you've decided to put it out. I don't know when he's got injured. I think he must have got injured in training, but which is a bizarre one. Lloris's one is a bizarre one because he was jumping up and down on Harry Kane after the final whistle when he got his award and whatever. So he's out. Romero's out. Basuma's out. Now, a question for you. I know what you're going to say. Does Emerson start or does Porro start?
You know, it's away from home. I think Porro should make his debut at home, just for the fans' sake, you know. But he's a £45 million player. He's infinitely better than Royal, but I can't see him just being thrown in against Leicester. I would love to see it. Now, I would start him, but we've said this loads of times. I'd start him, and it never happens. It's a winning team. It's now for Raw's place to be taken from him. Now, it's pressure on him, so why not see? And this is probably the same sort of psychology that I would use with players when I was coaching. He's played well. He's got man of the match. If you take him out of the team now, what's that going to say to him? Oh, well, it doesn't matter what I do. This guy's going to come in. Same like what we had with Harry Kane when Lucas Moura played in the semi-final, didn't play in the final. It was the same thing. We've never seen the best of Lucas Moura since then, in my opinion, because of that moment. I don't want that to be the same for Raw. So I think he should start, but I reckon we should give him at least 20 minutes, Porro, that is, to play tomorrow.
I'll give you my quick theory on this one. Yes, Emerson Royal had a good game last week, but he's had many bad games prior to that, right? One good game doesn't make you or does let people forgive you or make you a better player.
Mhm.
Full stop. What you've just said, we've spent £45 million on a right wing back because they deemed we had crap right wing backs. They've now gone and spent 45 million, spent 2 months getting this player, waited the last minute on transfer deadline day almost to get him. Every other club, when they buy players, they bring them straight in, right? Why can't we do that? So I think we should stop Poro. Leicester City are not on a good run of form. I think it's the best time for him to stop, because then are you going to start him against West Ham? Are you going to start him against Chelsea? No. Bring him, let him start tomorrow. Let him get the experience for the Prem, for the West Ham game and then Chelsea game.
I'll give you my my take on that, and I do agree with a lot of what you're saying. But the reason I'm going to slightly go away from that is because you're putting him in a pressure situation for his first game away from home, because it's always going to be a bit of a pressure. Like, crowd's not going to be saying, "Oh, well done, Pro, well done for joining Spurs." They're going to be on his case. We've also, remember, we've got Romero missing, so the back line is going to have Sanchez in there, who's a bit more wayward, inexperienced in terms of playing this season. So we don't want to disrupt things too much. So what I'm saying by that is, at least if you know that Royal and Sanchez have played together now, they haven't played fantastically well together, but they have played together. My only caveat is this: if they've seen in training that Poro's just lighting shit up, because they've known this all week that Romero's not playing, they can do all them patterns of play in training. They can play Sanchez with Poro, see him in training, see what they do. They can play Sanchez with Raw, see how they play. And it's all going to be down on what they think. But we've seen so many times that this management team always err on the side of caution. They always talk about players getting embedded into the system. Poro doesn't know our system, although I think he knows wing-back system. It's whether or not they just think they're going to throw him in. I would bring him on for 20 minutes in that second half.
See, I personally thought he would have started against Man City last week. And the reason he didn't start is because he was ill. And David's confirmed that as well.
Okay.
Poro was ill last week. That's why he didn't start. And that's why he didn't get that much game time. Yeah, he wasn't well. So I
50-50 then, mate. You're right. You might be right. I think you're right. If we paid that sort of money for him, and we've been raving about this guy, and they've been raving about this guy, and I saw what he did against us in that Champions League game. He ripped us a new one. So,
and I know what you said about putting him in straight away. We're away from home. He's not going to have 55,000 Spurs fans on his back. Yeah, we're away from home. Minimum 5,000, 6,000 Spurs fans. So the backlash, which is not going to happen anyway, but if he was to have a bad game, 5,000, 55,000, I know where I'd rather get the backlash, 5,000. And let him play tomorrow, because we got West Ham next. Imagine him starting against West Ham at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and he doesn't do well at home against West Ham, because they will expect him to come out on fire, especially against West Ham with the rivalry and that goes on. If he has a bad game in that one, then there's a problem.
Yeah,
that's why.
But we also have to look at if he has a good game, Sid. This is what I'm saying. We can look at him having a bad game. But if he bring him on, let's say we're winning the game comfortably 2-0 at some point with 20 minutes to go, that's a brilliant time, because it doesn't matter what he does. He can do anything. And we still have got him getting experience, and then we can see what he does. We should have seen exactly the same thing with Jed Spence. We never saw it. They never gave him enough time. So we never knew whether he was good enough or not good enough. We all know that Poro is a Champions League level player, has played in the Champions League regularly, has lit it up for Sporting Lisbon. But I just go back to the point. If he starts against Leicester, let's say, and for whatever reason, it's just, the home crowd is really giving him a lot. Professional players shouldn't have to necessarily worry about that, but they are human at the end of the day. So he's a human being. And I think because he's playing with Sanchez, I just like, I don't know if he make him look bad. He could make him look bad. Now, I'm hoping that it's all positive and we just win the game. He comes on, but I reckon you're right. He could start tomorrow if that's the case.
Do you remember that song back in the days? I can make you feel. You remember that one?
Yeah, man. I know those songs.
But you know what? Like you just said, Sanchez must be singing to him. I can make you feel bad. But
let's talk about Sanchez just quickly. Sanchez, we've given him grief. We know that he has ups and downs. He did go through a bit of a spell where he was like, when he was playing, he had a lot of clean sheets behind him. Again, he's the same sort of thing with Royale. He's young enough. He has got the talent. I think he suffers from the mental pressures. So now he's got an opportunity to play against a front two, probably, because Leicester are probably going to play a 4-4-2. And he's coming into a team that is confident. And I also think, yeah, look, we've got a new goalkeeper. We can't keep changing his whole back five. So this is what I'm saying. I think it's going to be, this is what I'm saying. I'm not sure Porro's going to start tomorrow because of that, mate.
Good Beats in Entertainment, good afternoon. He's saying, think the manager would know when to put him in. That's why he gets paid big bucks. I agree.
Agree that.
Emerson has been solid and he deserves to start, in my opinion. I think he will start. I was just saying that when you're spending so much money on a player, you know, you should. David Clark, why do Spurs fans always think of the negative side? Porro will light up the lane next week. So Sid, put your positive hat on. I'm not being negative, David. All I'm saying is...
David, yeah, feel me, man. You feel me?
All I'm saying, David, is I want him to play tomorrow because last week he didn't get any game time. So if he would have got a little bit of game time last week, then I would have been a little bit better. But I want him to have some kind of involvement tomorrow, whether he starts or, like Sam, you're saying, if he comes on with 20 minutes to go or whatever.
Yeah. I don't want to see him come on for no 5 minutes. If he comes on, that's a waste of time. He needs to either come on for a half. I don't see that happening because they don't usually make too many changes at half time unless they have forced to. But certainly 65 minutes onwards, we should be seeing him if he hasn't started the game.
Exactly. Right. So that's that. I'm going to touch on the captain quickly, because we've not got much time left. Kane, or would you have gone with somebody like Højbjerg or Dyer in the middle? Because I don't like my strikers to either. I don't like my captain to be either a keeper or a striker. I would prefer a centre back or a centre midfielder. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I generally agree with that because I'm the same sort of mindset. I want it to be someone who can see all the play in front of them, a midfielder who can see what's going on. The goalkeeper, I think Kane is a different type of captain. He's been made captain of England. Now, we all assume that Harry Kane's not this vocal person, but he has been proven to be in the dressing room, that sort of person. It's whether or not he does that on the pitch. I can't recall if he does that for England. Does he go around and, you know what I mean, the sort of like, come on, guys. I don't know. But he's a leader by example, and he is confident as hell right now. Yeah. The man's broken Jimmy Goo's record. Nobody thought that record was going to get broken at all. And now that he's surpassed that, I don't think that record is going to get broken by any player at Spurs in the future because he's going to get up to about 300 plus. And if he gets there, there's nobody catching that sort of... Nobody's going to stay at Spurs long enough to score that many goals. Yeah. So I think it's a best choice. You can't not give it to anybody else but the England captain. Simple.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that one. Although, as much as I would want a centre-back or a centre midfielder to be the captain, I think if you're going to pick one person, like you just said, one person to captain your club at the moment, it's got to be Harry Kane because so much positivity going around him. You know, he's just everything about him. And I think the respect he's got from the players, managers, coaching staff, everyone. So I think it would be the right person to give it to. And I think if there's one person in that team that can get everyone going at halftime, like you said, before the game, after the game, I think it will be Harry Kane. So yeah, if he is tomorrow.
The last point on Lloris, I give Lloris stick because, as I said, I don't believe he's the best keeper in the world. I don't believe he's the one that digs us out all the time. He's made some good saves. Don't get me wrong. He's had some incredible games for us, but I expect that. What I'm saying is, when he makes mistakes, they always tend to lead to goals. You might have seen that thing on Twitter that went around where he was just showing all his mistakes. It was like, oh my God, he's made some horrendous ones. And that must play some part in how we perform. If he does that in a game, you saw what happened when it happened against Arsenal. It was like, oh my God. I was there. You was there. It was like,
yeah.
Oh my God. They just had it. Harry Kane won't make mistakes because if he doesn't have a good game, it's because he doesn't score. But the likelihood is he will score.
He will score. Yeah, agree. Dave Clark is saying here, we don't have a Dave Mackay, so it doesn't matter. Anyone can toss a coin. Yes, Dave, anyone can toss a coin. But, and I've said this many times, we need a leader on that pitch. Lloris with the captain armband doesn't communicate at all with the players. Whether we score or concede, he never communicates to anyone and everyone. And that's what we need, someone that can talk to all the players. And if we're losing, get them revved up. If we're winning, pat on the back, blah, 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 blah.
And the other thing I don't like about Louis is he's similar to Pickford. Anytime he makes a mistake, it's like he wants to blame someone else. He's like doing that. Just own up. It was my fault. Sorry, lads. Come on, let's go again. He never does that. He always seems to be like he's confused. When you throw the ball in the back of the net against Arsenal, there's nobody else to blame but yourself, man. Come on.
Agree. Right. Let's come to the moment that you love. And that moment is the score prediction. I've asked Sean for his. Sean's not with us tonight because he's away in Italy. So he'll be having fun in Italy. But score prediction, please, Mr. Sam, for tomorrow.
He's going to call me something there. I didn't know. He didn't like the pause. He was going to call me something there. I don't know. I trust you, Sid. I told you before. Okay. 3-1 Spurs. Harry Kane, 2 goals. And I'm going to go with Kulusevski, who's the 3rd goal scorer. That's me. 3-1. Simple as that.
Simple as that. Now, I'm just looking at the pattern here. 6-2, 3-1. I look at the one away from home. 2-3, 2-4. And I think defensively, they're not very, very good at all. They're not very good. And I think there's going to be a lot of goals tomorrow. I think there's going to be quite a lot of goals. So I am going to say what happened there. Leicester City 2. Because Maddison's back as well, and I can see him doing bits. And Tete, I watched him last week, and I thought he was quite decent. Leicester City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
Harry Kane's gonna get 2. Son's gonna get 1.
Yep.
And Mr. Dejan Kulusevski's gonna get 1.
Can I change my goal scorer? Of course
you can.
One of them. I'll take out Kulusevski and I'm going to go with Son because I think Son, again, is now... You can just see that confidence is coming back into his play as well. And I think he's due a goal again now. And I'm going to go with scoring tomorrow against Leicester.
Cool. And we've been talking about certain players, but you know what? We've forgotten. We still haven't got a player. Where does he fit in? Is he going to start tomorrow or is he going to be benched? Again, Mr. Danjuma.
Ooh, good shout. Now, Richarlison's back fit apparently as well.
And Richarlison's fit as well. That's right.
Now, I again, we've seen when Conte had an opportunity to maybe take Son out the far line, he doesn't do that. He doesn't even like to rest Son, let alone take him out the firing line. So Harry Kane's going to start, Son's going to start, and Kulusevski's going to start. What we do have is good backups now. We've got 2 players who stretch the play. So if we do need to chase the game or we do need to play a counter-attacking style of football effectively because we're winning the game and we play our defense to counter, we've got 2 players who will stretch the defense as well. So I think having them 2 on the bench, seeing what they can do is absolutely good, brilliant for us. Absolutely brilliant.
It'll be interesting. It'll be very, very interesting. David Clark is saying, Højbjerg, the Viking King, give him the sword and let him swing it. Dino Dinosaur, good afternoon. In the financial report, Spurs announced 22.7 increase in revenue to 444 for this year, ending in June 2022, up from 361 in the previous 12 months. Dino Dinosaur, we're not going to discuss this because I'm sure Sam will have a talking points on that with regards to that. So
yeah, I just want to apologize to people for talking points this week. It was meant to be done, but just circumstances couldn't get it done. We're going to try and get it back to be regular. I just think it's just been a little bit because of the games that have, the World Cup and all the games that have been condensed. It's been a bit difficult, but we're going to get back to that now that I think the games are a bit more spaced out, hopefully. But we do need to talk about monies and what we think is going to happen in the next few months. So talking points will be a good time to do that.
Exactly. Cool. David Clark saying Leicester 1, Spurs 3, Kane 2, Son 1. Good Bits Entertainment is saying we always score. Leicester think it would be 4-1 to Spurs. And I think he's also saying no way is he starting Danjuma. I don't think he's going to be starting. I think, like you said, Sam, it's going to be great having him and Richarlison now on the bench, because that front three of Son, Kane and Kulusevski, it ain't going to change unless one of them's injured. So, or like you've just mentioned as well, doesn't matter if Son's been shocking or not, he's still starting. Simple.
It's a fine balance, that is, because it doesn't, if you start a player that's not playing on form, what the other player's thinking, bloody hell, I can't get a game, and he's playing rubbish. But what it also shows is Conte's loyalty to players that he thinks will come good. And he saw that when Son did come good. I'm thinking that now Son has seen that, Conte trusts him. He really, really trusts him in the fact that he doesn't even need to play that well. I think he's going to repay him back. And I think he's going to go on a run for the end of this season. And we're going to see the Son of last season.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. Carry on talking for 1 second, Sam.
Yeah. I don't mind doing that. So I think that the fact that we've got those two players in Richarlison and Danjuma on the bench, Danjuma, again, he scored on his debut, It's one of them things, again, which you really want a player to do. Away from home, FA Cup, I don't care how it went in. So he's obviously buzzing. Richarlison, we know his mentality. He's a player that wants to play every single game, wants to play every single minute, but he's not a sulker. And there's some rumours going around that he's maybe wanting his agent to get him. No, I don't believe all of that. What he realises is if he gets his opportunity, he'll take it. He'll score a goal. He'll do something. And what he's got is a mentality. And that's what we need, players with the mentality to want to come on and do well for us. We've seen Steven Bergwijn didn't look like he quite had that mentality, although he had the talent. And maybe that's why he's not at the club no more.
Absolutely. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. That's the preview show. Leicester City versus Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow from the King Power Stadium. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and follow our channel.
I'm just saying to follow you as well. That's all.
And make sure you follow myself at @Sid_Spurs and at Sam_Spurs for life. It's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah, I said that at Sam Spurs. Spurs for life.
I know you did. I was just trying to do my finger, so when you just do it on the screen.
Sam said, look forward to talking points. Look out for the reaction show tomorrow.
Just after final whistle. It'll probably be about just after final whistle, 5-ish.
Yeah, about 5 o'clock, 5:15.
Look for that. No Dr. Tottenham in the house. There's no Dr. Tottenham this week.
No, there's no Dr. Tottenham. And on that note, please have a great weekend. Enjoy the game at 3 o'clock, wherever you are, even if you're at Leicester and your wife and the whole family are Leicester fans. Dave, make sure you enjoy the game, up the Spurs, and we will see you tomorrow evening. Have a good one.